Hi everyone, welcome to the 5th results reveal of Purple's TWOW Odyssey All-Stars. Last round, our 17 remaining alumni submitted 21 responses to the prompt, "A new brand of soda has swept the TWOW nation and became as often sold as water. What's the drink called and why did it become so popular?" Their responses were put into voting, and 24 voters cast 62 votes. The voters were Algaduboy, Ali WR, Ani the Jumper, Blandy, Christian Panda YT, Cole the Mole 13, Ender Dragon, Ethan Lane, Gizmo Dude 8128, ITOD, Izzy, JCLK2, J-Poms, Lay Unicorn, Lemon Jimmy, Mini Panga Dave, Pringles, Random Gamer 123, Sergeant Snivy, Site Director Solix Hawkray, Super J, The Names H, Wombo Combo, and Wyatt. Thanks so much to everyone who voted, I wholly appreciate it. By the way, shout out to Dave for giving me a bunch of song suggestions to use for this episode. This round is the first round of 1x1 reveals. This means that rather than starting from the winner of this round and revealing from top down, I start from the winner of last round and reveal each contestant's score in that order until all 17 contestants have been revealed. If 3 people place below you in the reveals, you're safe. If there aren't enough players left to be revealed for at least 3 to land below you, you're dead. These indicators will be represented by green and red regions on the reveal grid. Let's get started. Mini Panga Dave is up first, having won last round. Despite submitting 2 responses, he still felt like he could have done better and wanted me to delay the episode more so he could edit. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and here we are. His higher scoring response was, "See-through soda makes users invisible, a never-before-seen sensation." A classic TWOW response pun. Seems a bit unoriginal to me, but who knows. Let's see how he did. A score of exactly 65%. That'll undoubtedly get him safe. Good job, Dave. Note that scores of second responses will not be shown until the final leaderboard at the end in order to prevent math and spoilers. Gizmo Dude 8128 is up next. His higher scoring response was, "It's a delicious cola made entirely of melted chocolate. Chocolate. Chocolate? I don't know how to emphasize this pun." Here we see another contestant going for wordplay. It worked well for Dave, but will it work for Gizmo? I personally like Gizmo's response a lot better than Dave's, but we'll see. Okay, what the heck? That's not good at all. Though 46.83% is significantly higher than any dying score we've seen so far, it still could be dangerous. Lay Unicorn is up third, and his higher response was, "Sleep soda guarantees good sleep with its melatonin-infused drink." Here's a drink I'd benefit from given my terrible sleeping habits. How'd it do? A solid score of 55%. You're almost certainly safe. Here we see the green region finally appearing. If you place within it, you're above 3 contestants, which means that since there are only 3 people getting eliminated, you're guaranteed a spot in the next round, even if every other contestant after places above you. Site Director Solix Hawkray is up next, with the higher scoring response, "Phonic Tonic, speak and rhyme, pour for just a dime." Nerd was the contestant that by far put the most work into the response, from what I've seen, with countless edits and wording changes. I think, in the end, it resulted in a really well-polished response that has a good concept and flows off the tongue extremely well, despite being affected by a self-imposed technical. How'd all of Nerd's extreme brainstorming do? Wow, an amazing score of 75.44%. Congrats, Nerd, you're the first contestant to be announced safe into the next round, and with a score like that, you're on track to get yourself a prize. Tautological Oxymoron is up 5th. His response was, "Pop. Not slang for soda, but popular, shortened, intentionally designed." A different approach to wordplay making up an interesting concept. How will this fare? Oof, 47.37%. That's barely above Gizmo, but still dangerous. Tot, I know you were gonna vote this round but weren't able to, so dying here would be very unfortunate. Meanwhile, Dave is safe into the final 14. Blandy's up next with his response, Librarian's favorite gives a taste of silence. It quietly bloomed. A classic TWOW referential response. It mentions books and manages to use a pun. In the prompt that could have had a TWOW referential interpretation though, this might not be so bad. Exactly 50%. Lay Unicorn has now been announced safe, but this is probably a high enough score for Blandy to live as well. Great job! Wombo Combo, our final Season 1 alumnus, is up next with the response, Water 2. It's nothing special, but it's got excellent marketing. He told me he misread the prompts and wasn't feeling confident. I think his response still works, but we'll see. Oh no, a score of 43.94% is not good at all. This pushes Blandy up into the safe region, but it seems to spell disaster for Wombo. Conspicuous Piggies up next with the response, Goggle Soda. Clever advertisements exploited Google's common misspelling for exposure. An interesting fact about names like this. Google has actually claimed most of them. If you were to send yourself to goggle.com, you'd just be redirected to google.com instead. So, how'd this do? Another score of exactly 50% makes Piggy safe into round 6. Good job. Sergeant Snivy is next with the response, Boost Beer. Top TWOWer ping pong cup shots endorsed it. A nice reference to TWOW, but did the voters remember it well enough to have ranked it highly? 53.97% is enough for safety. Epic. Pringles, who was nearly eliminated from not responding, is up next. His response was, Infinifizz preserves its carbonation, ensuring that it never goes flat. A nicely worded response that's concise and gets its point across well. How'd this cool sounding brevity fare with the voters? $69.57%. That makes him safe by a large margin and puts him on track to possibly earn himself a prize. Great job! Season 3 winner Super J is up next. His response was, Drinking 10-word soda silences TWOWers before they accidentally say their 11th. I personally really like this response, but I can see it being controversial. This prompt was a bit meta and could have asked for this type of joke, and I think it was well executed here. Let's see. That is not good at all. A score of 28.07% puts Super J's average percentile only marginally higher than his standard deviation. A miracle would have to happen for him to survive something like this. Meanwhile, Tot is safe. ITOD is up next. He submitted, For warm weather enjoyment, Fizz Pop freezes soda into carbonated popsicles. Once again, a response that was worded well and got its point across. Among a sea of jokes and puns, this style of response is often refreshing to see. A score of 55.30% proclaims him safe into the next round. Ani the Jumper is up next with the response, Carbonated ink gives even the rookie books prize-worthy response ideas. Another well-made TWOW referential response, in my opinion. But that's what I said about Super J's, and that didn't do well at all, so he might be out of luck here. But we'll see. A score of 47.50% puts Ani slightly above Tot to take a safe spot into the next round. Wyatt is our final contestant up on the stage before the sudden death zone. He, one of our most unknown but surprisingly well-performing contestants, submitted, With 30 milligrams of nicotine, Nightcoin makes unsuspecting TWOWers addicted. Nicotine is a response concept I've used before, so it's probably not the most original. However, this can be hard to notice sometimes in voting, and the response was worded well. So, when this was submitted, I really had no predictions for how well or poorly it would do. An average percentile of 52.50% lands Wyatt high enough to be announced safe. Now, as you can see, the red region has appeared, which means it's time for the sudden death zone. This name was given to it by the community because after this point, it's possible to place low enough so that fewer than the amount of people dying are yet to place, making you instantly dead. With each placement, one contestant will be announced to survive and another will be announced dead. Going against Super J, the first contestant to be revealed in the sudden death zone is Izzy, who was front-running but had an uncharacteristic low placement last round. Their response was, "It's Starbucks brand coffee soda, full of caffeine, sugar, and trendiness." Ah, of course, I see why you'd send this response, Izzy. While I don't personally relate to it, I'm sure a good amount of the voters did. Let's see how far relatability got you. A score of 58.33% isn't enough to get a prize, but it is enough to be safe by a large margin. But unfortunately, this means Season 3 winner Super J has surprisingly been eliminated. Now it's Wombo Combo against Plasmic Trojan, who submitted, "They've somehow liquidized TD static. They're calling it sparkling water." Here we see Trojan submitting one of his trademark puns. This is a pretty good one though, so it'll probably do well. Let's see. 59.17% brings Trojan into the prize cup position, and sadly eliminates Wombo. This finally brings an end to all Season 1 alumni. You did well, everyone. And our final contestant to be revealed is Ethan Lane, who submitted cocaine-flavored cola. Stronger stimulants restore soda to its former glory. This was similar to Wyatt's nicotine response, which survived, but as with that, it's not entirely an original concept, as we can see here. It's Ethan Lane against legendary TWOWer Gizmo Dude 8128. 46.83% would be a relatively high score to die with, and with 2 responses as well. And so far, we've only seen 1 super low score, meaning others could very easily come to balance out the rest. This is round 5's final battle. Who will survive? (49.21%). With that, Ethan Lane is safe and Gizmo Dude 8128 is surprisingly dead. I could not have seen this coming. Here is the full leaderboard. Good job to those who survived. And here, another round of sad deaths happens. Super J, after you won Season 3, everyone knew you had the skills to do well in this TWOW. Your last place Q-Tech in Season 4 does come to mind when looking at this round, as it seems a history of last place deaths is forming. And weirdly enough, the Consistency Master curse strikes again. No one can hold this role for more than a round without dying, and you, sadly, were not an exception. Guess the role of Consistency Master might never be consistent. Wombo Combo, I was rooting for you as you were the final Season 1 alumnus remaining. Having just revealed yourself to have an alt in the community at the start of the season, you started to become more relevant and were showing promise, being both close to Frontrunner and close to Consistency Master after 4 rounds. But it seems simply misreading the prompt caused an extremely surprising death of someone I didn't even realize was doing so well. Congrats on your accomplishments though. And Gizmo Dude 8128, you were wild but you prized last round, making your death very shocking, especially given your presence in the community. I actually really liked your response too, so I'm completely baffled. But a TWOW like this would not be complete without a surprising death around every corner. Sorry you had to be on the receiving end of this one. Let's see some stats. What is it with frontrunners doing badly the round after they receive their title? What is it with frontrunners doing badly the round after they receive the title? Tot drops to 5th on the rankings, bringing Dave up to 1st, with Nerd right behind. Dave also holds on to the Wildest Survivor title. Sergeant Snivy stays efficient and snags the Consistency Master role. The curse is looking pretty strong so far, so you better watch out. This means that only 2 people are holding the 4 relative rank based titles. Interesting. Another stat I kept track of this round was the ranks over time for the responses, but more importantly the players. In this graph, each line represents a contestant. The y-axis represents the player's rank after every voter, and the x-axis is a mark after each individual person voted, showing both the amount of time that was left in the voting period at the time and the percentage of the voting period that had elapsed. I was on the edge of my seat watching the results unfold in the last hour, and now you can see why. There are a few cool things to note here. Blandy was scraping for a huge portion of the voting period, went into death for 1 vote, and then raised himself back up to 10th at the very end. Ethan Lane was dead for nearly 4 whole days, but managed to sneak up in just the final hour. And interestingly, Gizmo was never dead through the entire voting period until after the final vote, which made his death all the more surprising to me. Feel free to look at this chart more extensively if you want. It'll be posted in the statistics channel as well. This was a very eventful round, and I hope you're as excited to see the season continue as I am. Your 6th prompt is, as an 8-year-old, nothing in life is fun unless it's dangerous. From this perspective, what's the ideal way to enjoy your time outside? Send your 1 response, or 2 responses if you place in the top 3 this round, or 0 responses if you aren't alive, in Discord DMs to Violet Stare by March 3rd, 2019 at 22:30 UTC. If all 14 contestants respond, 2 will prize and 2 will be eliminated. Good luck everyone, I'll see you all next time.